Hi, everyone. Steve Adubato. Welcome to the #1 leadership show in America, Lessons in Leadership, with my colleague, Mary Gamba. Mary, I could be mistaken. That is a new outfit you are wearing, is it not?
It is. And I love Lessons in Leadership because I am just fascinated by you notice all of my new outfits, my new hair, my glasses, and I have to note you're wearing a new tie. That is
I
a
am.
new tie.
But you also realize I noticed that you wear all these new things because I see the bills that come in to stand and deliver, and I have to sign off on them. Mary, listen, we'll talk about our sponsors in a second and kiss the ring of all those who make Lessons in Leadership possible. But let's welcome in the chairman of the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey Board of Commissioners and the managing partner at O'Toole Scrivo LLC, Kevin O'Toole, backed by popular demand. Good to see you, Kevin.
Hey, Steve. Hey, Mary. How you doing?
Mary,
Doing good.
we're doing great, right?
We're doing great. I didn't want to talk over you, Steve. I thought you were going to be talking first, but we're doing great, Kevin. Thanks so much for joining us.
You got it.
Kevin, you ever notice that in this remote situation, people wind up talking over each other because the body language isn't the same and you don't know who's going to jump in? How do you deal with all that? You deal with your law firm, with the Port Authority, you deal in all kinds of situations, and you're a good listener. Have you changed your listening skills at all remotely versus in person?
Well, so at the Port Authority, we have every Monday, we have a senior staff meeting with 50 people, most on Zoom, although it's getting back to half live, half Zoom. And, we have an agenda, we go through it, and we ask questions, but we try to put a time for everyone to ask their questions. They got to have a, raise your hand type of thing. It's a little goofy. They press a button and a hand goes up, but there is people that talk over each other. People forget to put their mics on, a little annoying. And what the most annoying is, and when they forget to put their mic on, they go, it's a technical problem. No, it's a stupidity problem. Just put your mic on and talk and have a conversation. But the whole point is, Steve, let's get back to live. We should go to the studio. I said, Mary, get out of your basement. Let's go to a studio.
Kevin, we are going back to the studio when the economics justify it. Right now, the economics justify this. By the way, real quick, and Kevin was my father, late Steve Adubato Sr., mentored Kevin O'Toole along with a whole range of others. Real quick, before we get into our series that we're doing with the Port Authority, Lessons in Leadership, Discovery, and Innovation, how would Steve Adubato Sr. have done it in a remote setting, Kevin?
Well, horrible. Number one, he would have everybody muted. And he would just sit there and speak, and he'd be wise. He'd repeat himself because he said, you got to say things like you're talking to the average fifth grader. He'd repeat himself. Maybe he was right, but there wasn't a discourse, Steve, if I remember. He would just speak and we would listen.
Unlike me, who enjoys listening to other people's point of views. In that spirit, Kevin, let's try this. Our new series, in all seriousness, Discovery and Innovation. And Kevin's going to be doing an intro for us about this new series. Discovery and innovation and leadership, it's not an option. It's what we do, all of us who stay in the game and thrive in the game, including at the Port Authority and in your law firm. You have to discover, innovate, evolve. Talk about it.
A couple things. Look, as Tom and I are managing partners, we've got 100 employees. Tom Scrivo, who we know well. But you have to continue to talk and have a dialogue, find out what the new technologies are, bring your IT on the cutting edge of what is the next technology that you need to, connect to your clients, connect to the litigation, the world around you. You can't stay in your bubble. I mean, we have some folks that have been at this, not in our firm and others, that don't do email, that won't do Zoom, that won't have, they just won't get into that next generation technology. It's stunning. It really is.
Mary, we've talked about innovation and discovery more than you would like, because I'm constantly saying the status quo is not an option. I know you've been wanting to jump in and have this conversation with Kevin, please.
Yeah, definitely. And as Steve knows, Kevin, my word for 2024 is intention. And how intentional did you and your team have to be? Anybody that's been to the new Newark Airport, Terminal A, I just flew back and walked through there. And it is amazing. Every detail, from a playground for kids to branding, et cetera. But what is the connection between being intentional and being innovative?
Mary,
well, I mean, first of all, it's a world-class. I'm sorry, Steve.
Let's make sure everyone understands that the Newark Airport is run by the Port Authority of New York, New Jersey, along with the other airports in the region, the bridges, the tunnels, et cetera.
Sure.
It's a massive enterprise. Please, I'm sorry for interrupting intentionally.
That is what I call intentional interrupting, Steve.
So
that's
listen,
right.
with the three major airports, Kennedy, LaGuardia, and Newark, 144 million passengers. And Terminal A, for those of us that knew, it was, that was outdated in 1970s. So, it's been on the books for a while, $2.9 billion. 33 new gates. And, there was a mission to make this thing first rate, the newest technology, facial recognition, every bell and whistle that we've seen in other airports across this country, in the world, Munich and other places. And the other thing we wanted to do, and Senator Ruiz gave us the idea, we had to make it with a little bit of a Jersey-ish. Like, people are a little tired of saying when they go into Newark, like it's a New York. It's not. It's Newark and it's Elizabeth. It's a New Jersey facility, and we made that really clear. When you're in the baggage area, it says "Welcome to New Jersey," and it's pretty cool. A lot of the restaurants and a lot of stores there have a connection to either Newark, Elizabeth, or New Jersey, and that was all very deliberate, well thought out, going back to 2019.
You know what's so interesting about this, Mary? And Kevin talks about innovation, discovery, the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, one of our longtime partners, to what's going on with Terminal A. I imagine there was some pushback internally, not only at the Port Authority, but other places. Like, why do you have to spend that much? Why do you have to do those things? And a lot of this is about, it seems to me, in leadership, being persuasive, being engaging, helping people understand the benefits and the value of doing this. But Kevin, I want to switch gears, but it's still about discovery and innovation. You wrote a piece recently. Check out Kevin O'Toole's columns, and NJ Globe, one of our longtime partners, NJ Globe. Kevin, you wrote a piece on NJ Globe basically called "You Can't Go Home." You actually went back. Kevin served in the state legislature. He was a senator for many years, stepped out of that role. Some of us didn't step out. We were actually just unelected, Kevin. Do you remember?
Yeah, you did 2 years, Steve. I did 22.
Was it 2 years, Steve?
Yeah, he did 2 years, from 83 to 85.
As I was saying, so Kevin, when he went back to the state legislature in the state house, I don't want to take away from the column because it really registered for me. I haven't been back to the state house in years. You said sometimes you can't go home and you need to make room for others, new blood, new people. Isn't that about discovery and innovation as well? Or is that too much of a stretch?
No, it's not. I mean, look, and the idea is, like, Tom Wolfe, the writer back in the 30s, wrote a book about his hometown in Asheville, North Carolina. And he kind of realized at the time, you just can't go home to the place that was your home because so many things have changed. The memories that you have that were frozen at that time are not the same when you revisit 10, 20, 30 years after the fact. So when I was in the Senate, it was marvelous. It was wonderful. The world was cool. When I went back to witness my chief of staff, Al Barlas, he was getting sworn in as an assembly member, along with 26 other assembly members. It just felt different. It felt, first of all, it was time to get off the stage, which I knew back in 2017. It's time for the new leaders to come in, a younger generation. But I didn't have that same feeling, same in awe. I didn't have that same. I tried to go home and say, hey, I wanted to rekindle that spirit that I had in 1996 when I took the oath for the first time. And it was just gone. It just wasn't there. And that's okay, because you just can't, like they say, you can't step in the river the same time twice, because the river changes, the world changes. And what you think is your memory of the past is not, because a whole nother generation comes in, either through innovation, a new generational change, a directional change, political change, societal change. Things are always changing, and you just can't stand in the way of that.
Well said. Some of us don't plan on moving out of here anytime soon and letting others take over, but that's another story. Mary, one more with Kevin before I let him go, because and please check out that column, folks. It is not about politics. It's not about the state legislature. It's about evolution. It's about change being the only constant, if you will. Please, Mary, one more with Kevin.
Yeah, definitely. So, Kevin, one other thing that I would love to talk about is that younger generation that's coming up. Steve and I both have sons that will be going into the workforce very, very soon. What are your thoughts on that next generation? I mean, there was a good 10, 15-year time span where everybody was saying this new generation, they're lazy, they're not go-getters, they're just fly by night, they come, they go. I feel something different. And I was just curious what you think about that, this next generation that's coming up. What are you looking for? Because we're not going to be around forever. What are you looking for in this new generation?
I have a son who's 26, a daughter's 24. They're the next generation. My son's now a lawyer, and my daughter is finishing her master's degree. They're different. They're much different than we are. And here's what I think. I think they're much more committed to the community and charitable works. They're more in tune with that. I think they're smarter because they have more access to technology, and they're constantly being fed far more information than we were back in the day. I don't think they're going to work the 70, 80 hours that we did back in the day. I just think they're programmed to be different. I think COVID has hurt them a little bit. They've isolated them a little bit. I think a lot of their tech and their social media has kind of hurt them a little bit. I think it's like sheltered them and not allowed them to be as friendly when they're in an open environment. I think they got to force some of the relationships. I think they're more comfortable in an environment where they can either have a Zoom conversation or a text conversation or an email conversation. I think that's the only change where I think they're behind is their social skills. Beyond that, I think they're light years ahead of us.
Kevin, before we let you go, you're most excited about the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey's discovery and innovation over the next couple of years because
the bus terminal, you're going to hear about that coming out. We've had a bus terminal that's been around since 1950. It's way beyond its expiration date. We're going to be rolling out in the next week a really exciting program, $10 billion, way overdue. It's going to be a high-tech bus terminal. It's going to serve, the people of New York and New Jersey. And like I said, it serves 200 to 240,000 people a day. It's going to be built to serve 320,000 people, and it's going to be the highest tech, world-class facility.
Kevin O'Toole is the chairman of the Board of Commissioners of the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey and also managing partner at O'Toole Scrivo LLC. Kevin, thank you so much for joining us once again.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Mayor.
You got it. Stay with us. We'll be right back on Lessons in Leadership. This edition of Lessons in Leadership is made possible by the Buccino Leadership Institute at Seton Hall University, Prager Metis, Valley Bank, the International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 825, the North Ward Center, the New Jersey Sharing Network, Delta Dental of New Jersey, the Helix, Fedway Associates, Inc., the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, Veolia, Resourcing the World, Choose New Jersey, and Seton Hall University, showing the world what great minds can do since 1856.
This is Mary Gamba. If you want more leadership tips and tools, log on to stand-deliver.com. That's stand-deliver.com.
Promotional support for this edition of Lessons in Leadership with me, Steve Adubato, and my colleague, Mary Gamba, has been provided by NJ.com, NJBIA and New Jersey Business Magazine, CIANJ and Commerce Magazine, and the Meadowlands Chamber and Meadowlands Media.
When people were coming here to build the future, they needed a bank they could trust. But no one thought we could grow beyond a small town. They called us just another sleepy community bank. We proved them wrong. And for almost 100 years, Valley Bank has been committed to showing you what's possible. So, let them say whatever they want about us. We'll just keep being us. Because whatever you want to do next, Valley will be here to make it possible.
Welcome back to Lessons in Leadership. We are now joined by our longtime colleague and friend, Carin Hep is Assistant Vice President, Small Group and Individual Broker Channel Sales at Delta Dental of New Jersey and Connecticut, and also Michael Murphy, Vice President of Sales at AmeriHealth. Good to see both of you.
Great to see you, Steve. Good to be back.
Bring the energy. This is our small business leadership series, and in that spirit, Mary has become the new leader of Lessons in Leadership. Tee this up, Mary, because it's about partnerships, collaboration, and leadership. Please.
It sure is. So I was really fascinated. A couple of months ago, I had read about this. And then with our partnership with Delta Dental of New Jersey and talking with Carin and Mike, I learned about an exciting partnership between Delta and Dental and AmeriHealth. Carin, I'd love for you to talk just a little bit about the partnership itself, what it is, why it matters, and who you are partnering with, because I know it's really exciting for our viewers.
Yes. And Mary, this is a partnership that was a long time in the making. And I'll speak for Mike, we're really excited about the member health insurance program offered by the New Jersey Chamber of Commerce in partnership with Delta Dental and AmeriHealth. So this program offers members of the New Jersey Chamber, who are business owners, access to a suite of dental, vision, and medical benefits that employers can mix and match when offering these benefits to their employees. The Chamber launched this program to its members on January 1st of 2024, and it's available to businesses of all sizes, small and large. So what Delta Dental is offering includes 3 dental plans, one of which includes orthodontic coverage, and 2 vision plans. And the benefit for Chamber members is that the dental and vision programs premiums are locked in to a 2-year rate guarantee. This means premium rates will not change for 2 years. So I'll let Mike speak to the benefits that are offered by AmeriHealth through this program.
Please, Mike.
I love this. Karen's our new host, Steve. I'm going to go and I'll see you later.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Mike.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead, Mike. Talk about AmeriHealth's role in this as well, in the whole health coverage.
Sounds good. Great to be here, Steve and Mary, and thank you, Carin, for setting that up. On the AmeriHealth side, we're obviously offering the health benefits, and what we're leading with is our competitive fixed funded product portfolio. The fixed funded product portfolio is relatively new. We introduced it into the New Jersey market last year to a lot of success. It includes 3 different product types and 26 different plans that the members can choose from. And those plans have some of the highlights there. Even though it's a type of a self-funding plan, the members pay fixed monthly payments. They would not be subject to all the taxes that they would on a fully insured program. They would not be subject to all the state mandates that we have in the fully insured programs in New Jersey, although there is an option to include those state mandates. And then most importantly for the members, they would have the potential to share in any surplus at the end of the year. So if the group ran well, they would share in any surplus at the end of the year. And one of the biggest benefits to the chamber members is, as a chamber member or joining a chamber member, if you select the AmeriHealth fixed funded product portfolio, you'll also get a 1-year administrative credit on your chamber membership. So that is the real carrot at the end of the stick.
Carin, I'm curious about this. You have Delta Dental of New Jersey and Connecticut. You have AmeriHealth, and now we're talking about the New Jersey State Chamber of Commerce. What I'm curious about is, when it comes to partnerships and collaborations like this, beyond the particulars of the program, how challenging is it, Carin, to bring different organizations with different cultures, different history, different leadership? How challenging is it to come together and say, we could do something together that we can never do alone? Carin?
Yeah. So, there were a lot of moving parts with this, and to have 3 organizations come together to make a partnership like this happen, it took a lot of nurturing. And it was important for us to make sure that we had something attractive to offer the chamber. An effort like this also requires coordination from a compliance perspective in working with our state regulators and with marketing efforts in reaching our constituents across the state, because it's about education and outreach. So what Delta Dental found in the chamber and AmeriHealth was that we had the right partners to do this with. We just had to make sure that we utilized each organization's strengths in order to bring these plans to market to not only the chamber members, but also to the insurance brokers that can provide assistance in offering these plans to their clients.
Mary, talk about moving parts. Go ahead, Mike, jump back in, because I'm trying to keep track of all the regulatory issues, collaboration issues, culture issues, coordination issues.
I'm thinking the same thing. I'm like, how in the world, right? I mean, and it seems seamless so far. So, Mike, can you talk about that a little bit?
Mary, seamless on the surface. You never know what's going on.
It's like the duck, right? The duck is like swimming along and the little feet underneath.
Going crazy.
Go ahead, Mike, jump back in.
Yeah, no, I was just going to add, I talk about our fixed funded portfolio, which was just recently rolled out. And I know the effort and what that took to get that product introduced into the marketplace through everything that you mentioned, legislative, just internal workings to get those together. So it took really the 3 like-minded organizations with one goal to be able to achieve that. And it was no easy task, because it's never easy bringing something new to the market.
Carin, along those lines, this is part of our small business leadership series. And again, Delta Dental has been a leader in that regard. Why is that series, not just what we're doing, but also the focus on small business, so important to the work that you and your colleagues do every day?
It's important because we support small business, right? That's what we do.
Define support small business.
So, I mean, it's our market. It's the backbone of our state's economy. It's the backbone of the economy, across the country. But it's really important to us because when I say support, we offer benefits that help keep employees healthy, right? And the correlation between your oral health, your vision health, your overall health, it can't be overstated.
Yeah, and Mary, so much of our work in lessons in leadership, and also, again, I always say how uncomfortable I am promoting my book, Lessons in Leadership. That's a joke. That's a joke. There's a chapter
it's right there.
Yeah, right there. There's a chapter in Lessons in Leadership 2.0, the tough stuff. Mary, what chapter am I thinking of right now? Telepathically.
Oh, telepathically. That was not a stretch. It's the wellness leadership connection, the leadership wellness connection.
Now, what the heck is our wellness in our seminars, our workshops, our coaching around wellness and leadership? Mary, this is what we're talking about right now. It's
No,
about wellness.
100%. But one thing that I'm fascinated by, and I know we touched on it, Carin, you touched on it a little bit, but Mike, if you wanted to expand on it, Steve and I often talk about buy-in, especially, that also has to do with leadership and wellness, because if you're working for an organization, say if you're working for AmeriHealth and you're like, why are we doing this partnership? It's just going to be more work. How do you get that buy-in on your team members? Because that does have something to do with wellness if they don't believe in the mission and the direction of the, that you're steering that ship. So Mike, can you talk a little bit about that? How you got buy-in from your team members and from the leaders to even enter in this partnership in the first place?
Sure. I mean, we, New Jersey, AmeriHealth is a New Jersey-based carrier. So we focus on New Jersey. We always like to say we live here, we work here, our families are here, and Delta Dental of New Jersey, AmeriHealth, we only serve small businesses in New Jersey. And that is such a great synergy with the chamber. If you look at what the chamber's doing, they are looking at, 500,000 members in New Jersey. They're serving those members. They act as an advocate for those members. So we have a lot of synergies there where we're all just focused on what is best for New Jersey, what is best not only for the businesses in New Jersey, but also for their employees who also live and work here in New Jersey.
So final comment on this, and again, part of our small business leadership series in cooperation with Delta Dental of New Jersey and Connecticut. This is the thing that keeps hitting me. Do you ever see, and I don't want to get into a philosophical discussion, but a lot of organizations don't collaborate, don't partner because of turf, because of ego of a lot of the leaders. Like, no, we're going to do this alone. We're going to go it alone. And I think to myself, I get it. But if our operation at Stand and Deliver, our leadership and development company, as well as the Caucus Educational Corporation, our not-for-profit company, if we didn't partner with public broadcasting, if we didn't partner with institutions of higher learning, if we didn't partner with our sponsors, you can't do it alone. You don't need me to tell you that. Leadership is largely about getting other people to be part of a partnership to do something bigger than you can ever do alone. Turf, us doing it alone, you don't go very far. All right, I'm off my soapbox. To Carin and Mike, I want to thank you so much for joining us. This is, again, one of our terrific series on lessons in leadership, on small business leadership. Thank you, Carin. Thank you, Mike. We appreciate it. Mary and I have a couple minutes on the back end to offer words of wisdom right here on Lessons in Leadership. Stay with us.
This is Mary Gamba. If you want more leadership tips and tools, log on to stand-deliver.com.
Promotional support for this edition of Lessons in Leadership with me, Steve Adubato, and my colleague, Mary Gamba, has been provided by NJ.com, NJBIA and New Jersey Business Magazine, CIANJ and Commerce Magazine, and the Meadowlands Chamber and Meadowlands Media. All right, folks, listen, we have a few minutes just to, as I said before, offer some words of wisdom. Mary, we were talking about partnerships, collaboration, small business. Here's what I'm thinking. Now, you have no idea, just so everybody knows, I never tell Mary what I want to talk about because that's the beauty of the show.
Is it though?
But I am
No, I'm
thinking.
kidding.
What?
No, I said I love it. Usually I have something good to say, so I'm hoping that that's the case right now as well.
You have no idea where I'm coming from. So I am a New York Knicks fan, okay? By the way, I know Scarlett behind the camera is a Knicks fan. Elvin, you a Knicks fan?
Yes, I am, sir.
You got to think about it. Frank Brown, Knicks fan?
No.
Okay, good. So here's the deal.
What about me?
Mary, you're a Devils fan. I don't even think
No,
the
I
Knicks,
went to the Orlando Magic game. That's got to count. So I'm an Orlando Magic fan.
that's not what I'm talking about. So here's what I'm talking about. Partnership, teamwork, and leadership. As we do this program, we're taping on the 30th of January. We'll be seen later. One of the stars of the New York Knicks, Julius Randle, gets hurt, falls down on his shoulder. I don't want to get into the fact that I may be getting sore shoulder surgery. I know, Mary, after my elbow surgery, I have a problem. My rotator cuff, getting old sucks. That being said, I don't play for the Knicks. Julius Randle does. Hurt his shoulder. He's out for a long time. We don't know how long. Why is it relevant? Because you look in the New York Post, and here it is. The back cover of the New York Post, right? They're exhaling because he may not need surgery. But here's the thing. The rest of the team steps up, Mary. They win a game literally the next day. We don't know what's going to happen with the Knicks, but here's what I see, and here's the reason it has to do with leadership. Next man up, next person up. Someone falls down, someone's hurt, someone leaves the team, someone quits, someone's fired, whatever it is. Next person up. That is a mentality. It's a leadership mentality as opposed to attitude is everything, Mary. That's Keith Harrell, late Keith Harrell. Oh my God, we lost one of our star players. We're screwed. That's it. That's the end. We're going to lose. Our winning streak is over. It's done. Or next person up, all in. Is that not about leadership in the end?
It should be. And it's fascinating. We always use sports as just, I mean, sports and leadership are just so they go hand in hand. But you look what happened when Aaron Judge, it was last season, I believe, broke his toe running into the wall. He was off the team for months and they went downhill. They did not have a next person up. There was no leadership, no accountability. It was like a child, you know, and looking like, where's my mom? Where's my dad? Whereas the New Jersey Devils, you had mentioned that Jack Hughes, their star player, has been out for weeks with a injury. Hopefully he'll be back soon after the All-Star break. But the team has stepped up, right? They've had other people off the team for other reasons, very unfortunate reasons. The rest of the team is stepping up and they're still doing okay. So it's a lesson for all of us. God forbid if something happened to me, if something happened to you, you need to have a succession plan. You need to have that person. But that also has to go with coaching, accountability, and cross-training, right? Because if you're not cross-training in business, you're failing. Because if somebody does step away, if somebody leaves unexpectedly, an illness, God forbid, you need to make sure that your team is prepared to be the next person up.
So stay in that. And Elvin, please jump in if you have something to offer. And here's the way I look at it. People will often say, stay in your lane. Just do your job. If you just do your job, everything will be fine. And here's my problem with that. Of course, you have to do your job as a basic responsibility. But if we don't cross-train, as Mary said, if other people don't know other people's jobs, you can't function. Look, on our last Caucus Educational, we had a one-on-one taping. Help me on this, Frank, and Elvin, jump back in if you could. Frank had a conflict. He wasn't there. Frank's the best audio engineer in the world. So what happened, Elvin, we got 90 seconds left. Elvin, what did we do in terms of next person up? Elvin, real quick.
So I had to take over and do audio in Frank's absence, but luckily enough, I have a great mentor who was able to show me what to do when it comes to doing audio. So I was able to do the job when Frank wasn't available.
That's an attitude thing, Mary. That's a leadership thing, because you lose your audio engineer for the day. You lose our camera person, Scarlett, behind here. We had a backup. Jalon came in, which is great. But the reality is, Elvin goes, well, I'll take on two roles. I'll direct the show. You see him doing it right now, and I'll do audio. That's an attitude thing, as opposed to, oh my God, what are we going to do? Yeah. So listen, there's no particularly powerful or insightful lesson in leadership, but here's the thing I want to share with folks. Things go wrong. People get hurt. There are conflicts in schedules. You lose one of your most talented players. If you choose to say it's over, it's over. If you choose to say, what are we going to do now? We're done. It's done. If you choose to say, we're just going to deal with it, we're going to roll with it, we're going to find a way, even if we don't know exactly what it is, we'll do it. You're in the game. Cross-training, cross-pollinating. Leaders step up. That's an attitude thing. I'm off my soapbox. This is lessons in leadership. Elvin, and by the way, Frank is in today handling audio. Elvin can literally say in the chat, say goodbye, Steve. On behalf of Mary, Elvin, Frank, April, Scarlett, Sylvester on the back end, post-production, lessons in leadership. See you next time, but I am not replaceable. This edition of Lessons in Leadership is made possible by the Buccino Leadership Institute at Seton Hall University, Prager Metis, Valley Bank, the International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 825, the North Ward Center, the New Jersey Sharing Network, Delta Dental of New Jersey, the Helix, Fedway Associates, Inc., the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, Veolia, resourcing the world, Choose New Jersey, and Seton Hall University, showing the world what great minds can do since 1856.
This is Mary Gamba. If you want more leadership tips and tools, log on to stand-deliver.com. That's stand-deliver.com.
Promotional support for this edition of Lessons in Leadership with me, Steve Adubato, and my colleague Mary Gamba has been provided by NJ.com, NJBIA and New Jersey Business Magazine, CIANJ and Commerce Magazine, and the Meadowlands Chamber and Meadowlands Media.